It's good to be 7 on a lazy Sunday afternoon. Can I get a wave, Casey? And that is the power of video games.
Hi everyone! Today I am taking you on a trip with me. I am going to one of my favorite places. I'm going to the teacher store. And I am trying to get my classroom ready for September. Even though it's only June and I'm in the process of shutting the classroom down, I have learned through many years of experience to make sure before I leave in June that everything is in place and ready to go come September. My classroom is a portable outside, and at the moment my classroom is literally splitting in half and we can see the sun through the roof. So they're going to be jacking it up on stilts this summer vacation and replacing the foundation and doing repairs that need to be done to hold it together. What that usually means when they have to do repairs is that I'm not going to have any access to my classroom until maybe the day before school starts, if I'm lucky. There was one year, the teachers, we weren't actually allowed to get in our portables until about 1 hour before the children arrived for the first day of school. So once you get burned like that a couple of times, you learn to take preventative measures. So I like to make sure that my bulletin boards are up, my work is all copied, the papers I'm going to need, so that when I walk in on the first day of school, whether I get in my room or not during the vacation, I am ready to go. Teacher store, and I want to take a quick moment to show you some of the things I purchased there. Luckily for my husband, I didn't need too many things today. I have a lot of things I use already at work, but you run through things and things get used up. So one of the first purchases I made was this Faithless black paper. I purchased 2 rolls of it, and I really love this stuff. It's true to what it says. The Faithless paper, it's 4 foot long, which is really good because right away one swipe of this will do your entire bulletin board. Where the butcher paper they buy us at school, you kind of have to overlap pieces because it's not this tall. So for convenience sake, this is a great paper. But also when they say it's fadeless, they're very serious. If you use the black butcher paper that I have at my work, the sun will bleach it brown, and it bleaches it a really disgusting brown color. This stuff will stay black all year long. I even put this directly on my windows. I have a couple of windows where parents will peek in, children will peek in, and it causes a distraction in the classroom, especially when I'm in the middle of teaching something. So I actually paper over those 2 windows so we can have a little bit more privacy and not have the disruption of the kids tapping on the glass trying to get our attention. Literally in direct sunlight for 9 months, this paper stayed jet black in the windows. So when they say fadeless, they're very serious. That paper will not bleach in the sunlight. The next thing I purchased was border trim. Over the years, I have bought all kinds of borders, and border comes, oh my God, there's literally hundreds and hundreds of kinds of different border trim to use to edge your bulletin boards. I have come to absolutely love the Paikin Border. And it's actually kind of funny because when I was a first teacher fresh out of college, this was the border trim that a lot of my older colleagues were using. And I thought this was old-fashioned. I didn't use this for decades. I didn't use this. But recently, I have come to appreciate the bold color. The black paper is a great background for whatever you're going to put on it. Whether you're putting your Daily 5 menu up with your stripes and all of your cafe menu items, whether it's the bulletin board that you're going to use to hang student artifacts up on the walls, or if it's your writer's workshop board, the black paper makes a perfect background. But then when you put all those different border trims, you know, the apple border trim, the heart border trim, the polka dot and chevron and yellow and black and blue and pink, the room starts to become very, very busy looking. And sometimes it can actually be too much. We want to have a nice, beautiful classroom, but we don't want the children to be so overstimulated that it drives them crazy. So I find with just the black paper and the solid border trim, it makes for a very bold looking bulletin board, yet it's also very inviting. And what I love to do is I love to overlap the trim. So maybe I will put down the yellow border trim first all around the bulletin board, and then I will take the magenta and make sure that like maybe this much of the yellow is still showing, but then retrim the whole bulletin board in the pink. So this way you get a two-tone effect, very bright, vivid colors. And if you're curious, this blue is called azure, this hot pink is called magenta, and the yellow is called canary. Because I do know that they sell these on Amazon.com, because not everyone has a teacher store by them. So if you want to get these things for your own classroom, they do sell these on Amazon.com. A couple other school specialties will sell the Packin Border, and I'll be sure to link links to this in the description box below. And also a website called schoolgirlshop.com or schoolgirlstyle.com sells a lot of these things too. So a few more things I bought at the teacher store. I have in my classroom a rainbow chalkboard theme where, again, it's a lot of like that black chalkboard look with then multi-colors, pastel rainbow effect on it. And at the teacher store, they had something brand new I had never seen there, which is always exciting. Room decor items. And this is literally chalkboard with like almost like a sponge paint effect on it. And you can use these when you're creating, you know, student jobs and you're posting those on the board. Here's something where you might want to label a center. So there was a variety of pieces in here, 12 pieces in all, and it's going to fit really, really well with my rainbow chalkboard theme that I have going on. And then I also bought calendar pieces. I already have all kinds of calendar ones, but I thought these were perfect because they're just, again, it's going to match the theme that I have going on. And the theme that I have came from the shop Schoolgirl style. She creates almost like designer classrooms, and even if you don't purchase anything from her, I recommend going to her website and just looking at all of her photographs of all the different classrooms and the different themes she's created. She designs the most beautiful looking classrooms, and she has many, many ideas and inspiration. So if you're a new teacher and you don't know what color scheme you want to have, you're not really sure what you want your classroom to look like, she's a great source, a resource to begin looking with. So again, here's my calendar pieces in almost like a spray painted chalkboard look, which I am loving. These are going to look so cute in my pocket calendar I have. And then no trip to the teacher store would be complete without a Susan Winglet or a Mary Engelbright notepad. I am a stationery junkie. I love notepads. and I always have a wide assortment of notepads in my desk. In fact, if you've watched my desk organization video, you saw I have an entire drawer devoted to notepads. And then the last two things I purchased at the teacher store today, one is math practice, and this is Common Core lined. And I like this one because this book is not a book of your higher level functionings. A lot of times in math class, we work really, really hard on those higher level skills, but sometimes kids just really need good old-fashioned drill and practice. So this, I thought, was an amazing resource to use as a supplemental homework book. Again, just multiplication practice, because multiplication's hard. You know, fourth graders, third graders, fifth graders, they struggle with times tables. And then more fraction work, area, angles, points, perpendicular lines. It's just a really good book of drill work. And we have the Everyday Math program in our district, and I like the Everyday Math program, I really do. But I think anyone who teaches that would be quick to say that sometimes just honest to God work is missing from the program. So this will be a supplemental resource I will be using throughout the year. Okay. And then one more thing I purchased was nonfiction reading comprehension, and this is actually a grade 3. Yes, I teach 4th grade, but I bought this more for September and October. A lot of times kids come to you and they're not quite on grade level yet, so it's nice to have some resources that you can use to assess their skills. The great thing about doing Daily 5 is even if a child comes to me in 4th grade reading at a DRA 24, which would put them like higher 2nd grade, versus the kid who's coming to me reading at a level 50, which would be almost 5th grade, Daily 5 accommodates all of those reading levels. But the thing with Daily 5 is it's a system of teaching, it's a framework. There's no actual paperwork generated with Daily 5. So these little types of activities where they will read a story and then answer comprehension questions and write a response, this is the kind of things where I will once in a while do in my classroom so that I can actually collect a grade. Because parents, they still want to see a sheet of paper with a grade written on top of it. Yes, I base my report card grades based on their DRA scores, based on their running records, based on their meetings and conferences with me, but again, when you have that parent-teacher conference, parents really do want to see a sheet of paper with a shiny star or, God forbid, a D-, whatever it is. They want to see a justification for the grade you're giving them. So something like this comes in handy to do one of these maybe once every 2 weeks. So this way you have a paper and pencil grade to show a parent, and by buying a grade 3 as opposed to a grade 4, this is something where whether they're reading at a DRA 24 or a 50, I still need to be able to assess their comprehension. Are they comprehending what they're reading? And yes, then I can give them a grade for it. So that's where this came in. So that is everything I bought with my teacher store haul today. Thanks for coming along on this trip with me, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to see more from me in the future, click the subscribe button, and if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And before I wrap up this video, I have a quick question to ask you guys. I have a couple of ideas in my mind for future videos that I was thinking about doing for the teaching, and I wanted your opinion on them, if this is even something you would want to see. One video I was thinking about doing was my teacher bag, what's in my teacher's bag. And another video I was thinking about doing was the supplemental materials that I find I use the most in my classroom. Tried and true resource books, materials, sellers from teacherspayteachers.com, just the really, really good things that I've learned through trial and error. So if you're interested in one or both of those videos in the future, be sure to leave me a comment below so I'll know if this is a yay or a nay. Alright, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later.